Welcome to bLU Talks.
Scott McDermott. Oh my gosh, I am so thrilled to be interviewing you today. You are a dynamic individual.
Thanks.
Now, you have had a remarkable journey from architectural technologist to fitness enthusiast. And I mean, you've done Ironman and Ultraman competition. Mind-blowing. So, what actually inspired you to make that transition? That's the first part of the question. And then how did it shape your approach to life and fitness?
That's a great question. I think, like a lot of people, I got myself in a situation where things weren't working. I was in the midst of challenges and problems. My career in architecture was great. I did that for about 13 years, but being at a desk all the time, long hours, trying to make junior partner in the firm, marinating in stress. I had no idea how to feed myself. I was trying to follow the food guide and eat low fat. I didn't know what I was doing. And I love sugar. People joke that they have a sweet tooth. I have 32 sweet teeth. So I had dessert with my dessert and sugar after sugar and Fruit Loops for breakfast if I could. I mean, I wasn't that bad, but sometimes I was. And I was fat and sick and stressed, and I started to have all kinds of health problems. I started to have allergies, which I'd never had before. All of a sudden, I was allergic to summer. I couldn't eat peaches, pears, cherries, nectarines, anything with a peel that you eat, I couldn't have. I had to mow the lawn with a mask. I had to take extra strength Claritin antihistamines two a day just to get through summer. It was brutal. I was having circulation problems. I broke my back in high school in a gymnastics accident. And so I had shooting numb things and I had sore back problems. I would have to take Robaxacil after shoveling the driveway and lay on the couch for a couple hours. And I was having tinnitus, which is a ringing in your ears. So when I was laying in bed with my wife, I would have to say, honey, don't talk to me in bed because the ringing was louder than her voice, which is a bit of a problem. And I was exhausted all the time. I don't drink coffee, so I was taking caffeine pills to stay awake at work and get through deadlines. And I was just a train wreck. And I went to all kinds of different specialists. I go to my doctor and he'd send me to an eye, ear, nose, and throat specialist or this specialist or that specialist. And they would do a bunch of tests and they would come back. No, I don't know, tests are fine. Go back to your doctor. Well, it's great, except I'm still having a terrible time. And I was at work and I would get all of a sudden just super dizzy. I would fall out of my desk for no reason. Nobody could explain what was going on to me. And finally I went to my doctor and I wrote a 2-page letter of all my symptoms. And I handed it to the nurse and she hands it to the doctor. So when I got in for my appointment, he said, is this some sort of commentary on the medical system? I said, no, but you see, I don't know, 60, 80, 100 patients a day for a few minutes, but we're not getting anywhere. Like I'm 29, I can't live like this. This is ridiculous. I'm falling apart. What's going on? Like there's got to be a solution here. And he said, all right, well, let's do a physical and let's talk. And as we were doing the physical, he's like, well, are you under any kind of stress? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm trying to make junior partner in the firm. I'm working all the time. And he says, oh, how much sleep do you get? I'm like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours a night because I work till really late or I play video games, and then I'm at the office first thing in the morning and I work all the time because I'm middle management. I'm trying to make junior partner and I'm managing a team. So super stressful all the time, deadlines all the time. He goes, oh, well, how much do you work out? I said, I don't have time to work out. And he's like, oh, well, so you don't exercise? I'm like, no, I don't have time to exercise. He's like, well, kid, this is kind of clear. You need to eat right. You need to exercise and you need to de-stress and get some sleep. And so I thought, I think I can do that. So I went and I joined a gym and I met a trainer and I started to learn how to eat. I started to learn about nutrition. I became a student of nutrition. I started to exercise. I started to ride my mountain bike. I started to go to the gym and train. I started to drink water. Oh my gosh, what? And I started doing all these different things. And all of a sudden, everything changed. I dropped 40 pounds, a little over 40 pounds, and put on 16, 18 pounds of muscle. And all of a sudden I had a six pack and I had tons of energy. I didn't need caffeine anymore. I was on top. I just felt amazing. And it was funny because pretty soon there was about 52 people in the office. Pretty soon everybody in the office was on the plan. And I started to realize I really like coaching people a lot. So I got certified as a trainer and I started working in a gym on evenings and weekends and then in another gym. And I realized I liked that a lot better. And I took a personal development course and I came back from that personal development course and I handed in my resignation 2 weeks before I was an associate partner in the firm. And I apologized to my boss. I said, "You're a great guy. This is a great firm, but I'm at the top of the ladder on the wrong building. I need to go chase my passion." And my boss was really good. He understood. And it took a while, about a year and a half. I actually did contract architecture for a while, but I opened my own business. I had a big, hairy, audacious goal to have my own gym. And I opened it in 2002 and it was amazing. I felt like I was in the right place all of a sudden. Not only was I fit and healthy and full of life, my allergies went away, my dizziness was gone, the tinnitus went away, my back wasn't sore, all of that disappeared. And I realized I didn't have to live life that way. All I needed to do was take care of myself. So that's kind of how it all started into that phase.
That is absolutely phenomenal. Excuse me. Now you have a documentary out.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Living the Warrior's Code. Mm-hmm. And it captures your resilience after your devastating bike accident.
Yeah. So after running the gym for a while, I was kind of looking for a new big, hairy, audacious goal. I was looking for a new big challenge. I enjoyed bodybuilding and I enjoyed the basics, but I wanted a challenge. And there was a half Ironman triathlon in our town. And I thought, I wonder if I could finish one of those. I mean, I couldn't swim like laps, but I could not drown, right? Like, I mean, if I fell out of a boat, I could survive being in water. I could swim. And I could ride the crap out of a spin bike because I taught spin class. So I could ride for at least an hour. And I used to run before I broke my back, but it was healed. So I thought, I wonder if I could finish a triathlon. So I hired a coach and I started learning how to do triathlon. And in 2005, I did my first little sprint triathlon and I just loved it. And then I did a little bigger distance and then I did a half Ironman triathlon and I got a spot for Ironman Canada. And I did Ironman Canada the first year of triathlon and it was incredible. It was the most amazing experience of my life. It was the first time I was ever actually proud of myself because I did that and it was life-changing. So I got really excited about triathlon and after I had done a few Ironmans, I got a spot on Team Canada and I went to the World Championships in Holland and Australia. Yeah, on Team Canada, which was really exciting. And then I heard about Ultraman, which is a triathlon 2.5 times longer than Ironman. And again, I was like, oh, I wonder if I could finish one of those. And so I did Ultraman Canada. I was 6th overall. I had an amazing race. I went to the World Championships in 2013, was 21st in the world, and I was hooked. And I went back in 2015 to try and be top 5. That was the goal that my coach and I had worked on. I had never trained so hard. I did so many horrible, ignorant, exhaustive training things to get strong. I was ready. And on day 2, I was going down a mountainside and it was raining a little bit and I was going just under 70 kilometers an hour. And apparently there was algae on the bridge deck. Now, I don't remember that. I woke up 3 days later in the brain trauma unit on another island. I found out that my wheel had slipped out on the algae and I put my hand down and I sprained my finger, sprained my wrist, broke my arm in 3 pieces, shattered my shoulder, busted 5 ribs, and then I flipped and I busted up my knee. I tore my MCL, took a big chunk of cartilage out, got whiplash, split the side of my face open, and my helmet twisted and I broke my skull open, exposing my brain. And I had one of the worst brain injuries you can get. And it was a thing. And Peter Hudson from Australia, who I had just passed, because I was in 10th overall and I was hunting number 9. I was gunning for number 5 and Peter stopped and Adam Fox stopped and they flipped me over and got me breathing, and it was a thing. And then the ambulance came, they hauled me away. So that was a big deal. Now, what was interesting was we happened to have been filming because I had the idea, wouldn't it be neat to make a little short 15-minute documentary on this world championship race that nobody's ever heard of? Because Ultramans, there's only 40 people invited in the world. You have to qualify to get in. There's no TV coverage. There's no live feed. There's no prize money. You just do it because it's a thing you want to try. It's not a big hurrah. And I thought, wow, this would make a really good documentary. And then the plot changed. And my friend Drew, who was the filmmaker, he knew that I would say, let's keep filming. And so we filmed the recovery. We filmed the 3 years of rehab and therapy and learning, why did I crash? What happened there? Why did I crash? I was doing so well. What is it about my psychology that makes me pull the rug out from my own feet when I'm about to succeed? Why am I afraid of success? Where's that piece where I don't feel good enough? And so I started to process that and got back into racing because I loved it, not because I was trying to prove anything to anyone. So we filmed the incredible recovery back to the 2018 World Championships, where my team and I crossed the finish line. I ended up being 25th in the world, had a phenomenal experience. And I just continue racing now because it's fun, not because I'm trying to prove anything to anybody.
Wow. That's an incredible story. And you're right. I'd never heard of the Ultraman.
Yeah.
So now I understand that that's okay to not have heard of it because it's not really advertised. Only 40 people in the world.
Yeah.
Incredible. Now, you've been through that degree of trauma, that level of excellence, that building yourself up, crashing out, and starting all over. Now you're using all of that to coach people. So tell me a little bit about what that's about, what your coaching programs look like, what your fitness programs look like. Tell me about the passion behind that and why it's important for you to share that with others.
Well, I'm like a lot of people, I think, where I've gone from mess to messenger. I've been through challenges and learned from them and became a real student of them. And I love endurance sports, but I also love helping people get out of being stuck and being healthy and vibrant and fit. Like, I'm 55 now and I still feel amazing. I'm still racing. I did my 10th Ironman this summer in Switzerland, and I still get to compete. I still get to play. Everything works. Nothing hurts. And I want that for people. And in 2020, when the world did what it did, I shut down my gym. I couldn't sustain through that crazy town. I just didn't have the finances to have a 15,000 square foot gym be empty for 3 months. So I let it go, which was a huge gift because now I get to work online and one-on-one, and I get to work with people directly and do all the great things I love to do. And so I've got lots of different programs that I've adapted for that. I've got 21-day nutrition reset and a 6-week program, and everything's online. You get daily mindset videos. You get me as your coach. And I'm super passionate about helping people chase their big, hairy, audacious goal, their big, crazy thing they never thought they could achieve. It's super fun for me and rewarding to see people succeed and see people live and see people just blow themselves away. I could tell story after story. One lady's on my mind because she just finished another 100-mile race on the weekend. And she came to me because her knee was bugging her. She couldn't run. She'd tried all these different specialists. I did a run video analysis, showed her what she was doing incorrect in her running posture. We fixed that. And she started running and running and running. And then a few years ago at the Iron Horse Ultra, it was a 162-kilometer run. She placed second overall, not second female. She won that. She was chasing the lead boy. And that thrills me to bring out the potential in people, because so many people they don't realize they're eating junk and they're not living up to what's possible for them. And I love to see people shine and have just this incredibly great life. Because when I was 29, I was this suffering clod of ailments and sickness. I was miserable. I was exhausted. It was horrible. And now, all these years later, it's a blast. And I want people to have a blast.
Excellent. Boy, that sure comes through. So there's been a variety of initiatives that you've been involved with, from global wheelchair deliveries to organizing fitness events in your own community. So tell me, what drives you to stay engaged in both local and international causes? And how does this complement your fitness journey?
Yeah, I love to help. I love to make a difference in the world. And the wheelchair delivery was something I can do. I can fundraise. We bought 170 brand new wheelchairs, had them shipped to third world countries, and then we flew there on our own expense. And then my job was literally pick people up and put them in a wheelchair. And I can do that. I can lift a human. So I felt that there was a piece I could do, because if you take a brand new wheelchair to a country that they would never afford a new wheelchair. I mean, they dragged grandma down to the center village on a piece of plywood to get to her wheelchair. Really. It was crazy, some of the stuff we saw. And, people with 2x4s under a plastic lawn chair, and that was how they got around. And we gave them a brand new wheelchair. That fills my soul. And the fact that I can do that works for me. And I love to create things like being race directors for different events. We've done the Zombie Run and the Father's Day Run and Amazing Race. And I've got a couple more coming up possibly this year, Downhill Mile and the Outhouse races and stuff like that, because people respond to goals, and whether they're serious or fun, doesn't matter. Life is about experiencing and living and growing. And I have so much energy and passion that I know that if I share that, then it grows. It goes beyond me. And I think that's a piece of it too. When you're fit and healthy, you can share. You can give. When you're suffering and hurting, you're playing small because you don't have any spare energy. I have spare energy. So I want to give it away, right? I want to help make the world a better place somehow. Right? And it's like that old story of that little kid on a beach, and there's thousands of starfish that have been washed up on the shore. And this little kid's picking up starfish and he's chucking them back in the ocean so they don't dry out in the sun. And this guy says, "What are you doing, kid? You're never going to save all those starfish." And the kid looks at me and goes, "It's true. I saved that one." Right? I mean, I can't fix all the world's problems, but if I can help a little bit, then I'm helping a little bit. And if everybody does that, then we're better off. So yeah, I like to try and help. I like to make a difference if I can.
Good job. Excellent. I absolutely love your passion about that. And, and it's so true. When you're not well, your focus is internal. And when you are well, your focus is external. So good for you for taking that energy and making a difference where you can. That's powerful.
There's a saying, you can have 99 problems until you have a health problem. Now you have one problem.
Yeah.
Right? And I think people don't realize how powerful nutrition and exercise are. And I'm not talking about suffering. I'm not talking about eating some crap diet that's disgusting and you hate and you can't wait to quit eating that way. That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm talking about real food, all the foods, all kinds of fun. I believe food needs to be delicious and nutritious. And exercise, I prefer activities over exercise. I love to swim, bike, run. If I gotta go to the gym and just pick up a thing a bunch of times, okay, whatever, that's not really fun to me. Well, with some friends, okay, but we need to do activities. And when all of that works in harmony, when we feed our body well, and we move our body builds hormones that it helps our brain work. It changes our mood. It changes our hormones. Like, we could replace almost all drugs with food and exercise. I believe that to be true. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, whatever, but I just know that makes such a powerful difference. I wrote a book called If Your Body Were a Car, You Wouldn't Treat It This Way. If I was to give you a brand new $250,000 supercar for a month for free, say, here you go, let her rip, you'd be like, yeah, that's a great idea. I said, well, but okay, you got to sign this paper. If you damage the car, you have to pay me back for the $250,000 supercar, right? That's fair. Great, still good. I said, but day one, you have to drive it till it's out of gas. And then here's the agreement. You have to fill it now with a quarter tank of egg whites, a quarter tank of mud puddle water, a quarter tank of gasoline, a quarter tank of diesel, then you have to drive it at 200 kilometers an hour for an hour with the tires flat.
Would never happen.
No.
No.
You would never put junk in your car.
So, Scott, this is so fascinating. How do we get in touch with you?
My website is scottyfit.com, SCOTTYFIT.com. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. Of course, I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and all those things, but scottyfit.com is the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Terrific. Thanks a million. Great conversation.
Thanks for having me. That was easy. You're awesome.